In the second part of this lecture, I'm going to talk about another taxonomy of social science paradigms. What I mean is there are other ways to describe these social scientific paradigms through which we interpret our research. This second way of understanding the paradigms is a little bit more simple, and it's put together in Sandy Kirby's book, Experience, Research, Social Change, Methods Beyond the Mainstream. And she divides these paradigms into three categories, the first being the instrumental social scientific paradigms. And in this category, she puts traditional, scientific, quantitative, positivist, empiricist kinds of social scientific research paradigms. Within this grouping, research is objective, and the criteria is that research should be replicable or repeatable by other researchers. Very much in this paradigm, social research relies on internal and external validity. And so other researchers, external researchers, can validate previous research by doing it again and getting similar results. And then it's internally valid because the hypothesis and the variables that are being used, it all makes logical kinds of sense. We'll learn more about this when we get into quantitative research, but the instrumental social scientific paradigm really is one in which quantitative researchers are quite comfortable. And within this paradigm, there's an established and hierarchical power relationship between the researcher and the researched. And so the researcher is really in control of what's going on within this social scientific research paradigm. The second paradigm that Kirby categorizes is the interactive paradigms. And within this fall constructivist, naturalistic, ethnographic, and qualitative research. Knowledge is created by researchers and research participants working together. And so the researcher has a specific understanding of the social world, and the research participants understand their social world in a particular way, and together they interact and construct knowledge. Researchers within this paradigm are concerned with issues of credibility. Is their work credible to people who they research? So when their research participants read the results of the research, does it make sense to them? They're accountable to their research participants, and the results of their research can be confirmed by the experiences of people who live in the social world. And their research is transferable in that if they're researching a particular group, if you're doing an ethnography of a very particular social group, but the concepts of social interaction or the ideas and theories that are being generated by this research, it is transferable to other groups. And so it isn't merely applicable to one group, but can be understood by people in a different kind of context. And finally, Kirby has the category of critical paradigms. And within this fall not only critical studies, but materialist, structuralist, feminist, ethnic, queer studies as well. And researchers working within this paradigm understand that social structures and power relationships play a central role in creating the kind of inequality that we see in social life. And often these social structures that help to create inequalities are not observable. We can't look at and observe the social world. We can't, carry out social scientific research, and there it's quite evident and obvious how these social inequalities occur. The structures are not observable. And so what is being experienced by the subjects, they themselves may not even be conscious of the kinds of structures that are working in their lives to create the social inequalities that they experience. And so they're not really aware of it, but the social scientific researcher has a critical lens and is able to see the inequalities being structured in people's lives. They read that into those social situations, and then they try to analyze through their analysis, are able to show how this inequality is enacted in social life. It's a little bit more complex, but it fits within what we call a critical paradigm. And so, different methods like discourse analysis would fall into this kind of critical paradigm. So those are another way of looking at social scientific research paradigms or social scientific paradigms for understanding social life, which govern the research process.